The Buffalo Bills are entering the season with an extremely difficult opening schedule, making their first few games an early test of the team's true potential. Josh Allen understands that a slow start does not necessarily define a season, especially for a team that has consistently performed well during the regular season. At the same time, the Patriots are dealing with an important contract situation involving Christian Gonzalez. While the Giants have suffered a major setback with Calvin Austin's injury, the Chiefs also face an important challenge as Patrick Mahomes returns from a serious knee injury. Overall, these storylines show how health, roster decisions, and late-season performance could shape the NFL season.
Not really. If you listen to Josh Allen talk, he says sometimes the first couple games can lie to you. What does that mean? You can get off to slow starts. We won the Super Bowl in Tampa. We actually lost our first game. It's not about where you start. It's about where you finish. And that's true for the Buffalo Bills because nothing they do during the regular season is going to matter. Sean McDermott was a head coach. They won 9, 10, 12, 13 games religiously there, but they just couldn't get it done in the postseason. So Josh Allen understands that. He knows when he was standing at the podium last postseason and the tears were going down his face, it had nothing to do with the regular season. That was all about the postseason. So he's got to make sure that this team is playing their best football come December and January and hopefully February, because that's all that matters. For the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills, the regular season does not matter. It's get into the postseason, be healthy, play your best football, and then they got to win come that playoff time.
Yeah, because you consider they have 91 wins over the last 7 seasons, but that's the most in a 7-year span without a Super Bowl appearance in NFL history. So it's all about what you do at the end. All right, staying in the AFC East. In case you missed it, the Patriots cornerback Christian Gonzalez and EVP Elliott Wolf spoke Tuesday about Gonzalez's ongoing contract talks.
The office knows how I feel. My team has made it known what I feel, what I'm worth, what we feel, what I'm worth. So the right people know what I'm worth.
He's a competitor. He's talented. He's elite. And again, hopefully we can get something done there.
You guys have offered to make Christian the highest paid corner ever. Is that still true a month later?
Yes.
Listen, his teammates have been saying, let's get this guy signed already. Lewis, from a front office perspective, is this a tough deal to get done?
Theoretically, you would think that it shouldn't be. I mean, there's already been precedent. There's been some guys who really have set the market, lastly, but most recently, Devin Witherspoon up around $33 million per year. There's 5 guys at the corner position that are making over $33 per year, and you see them there on your screen. Devin Witherspoon, Trent McDuffie, Sauce Gardner, Derek Stingley Jr. I mean, you got Pat Surtain in there as well, as far as a guy who's right underneath the 30 per year mark. So I'm sure Christian Gonzalez probably feels as though, hey, look, there's already been precedent. There's plenty of comparables. I'm 24 years old. I'm entering the prime of my career. I think I know what I am worth on an APY basis. Obviously, there's always other things that can be sticking points. Fully guaranteed money. How much of the money is front loaded? How much do you get it upon signing? How much of it is deferred? There's a lot of different things that can hold this kind of thing up. And APY, average per year, isn't always the be all and end all when it comes to contracts. But yeah, he knows exactly where he wants to slot in. And we'll see whether or not that winds up ultimately happening, which I think it will.
Yeah, and so do his buddies there on defense who have been calling for him to get the bag as they kick off the season 2 weeks from tonight, Lewis. Super Bowl rematch against the Hawks in Seattle 2 weeks from tonight. Can't wait.
There you go.
All right, thank you. I just want to take a moment before we go to commercial and talk about a really important member of our family, because it's with great sadness that we share the news of the passing of Joseph Mariotti. He's a longtime member of the ESPN family behind the scenes. He was a Korean War veteran. He joined ESPN in 1999. He spent the last 27 years as a beloved fixture in our main cafe here in Bristol, where we all go to eat. He leaves behind so many people here who are going to miss his stories, his humor, his unmistakable presence. He was just an absolute light for us here in Bristol.
Really, this was an important week for Mike. First time out there with people around you, the offensive line, the defensive line. And I think going through a drill where you got to move up in the pocket or get chased out of the pocket, whatever it is. So I thought a really good first step for Mike in that regard. But outside of this week, I don't think it's fair to go farther than that.
Well, he was just cleared for 11-on-11 drills. Obviously, he's going to sit out this preseason finale. 2 is going to start against his former team. Do you think Penix can win this starting gig?
No, this is only a competition in theory. To me, this competition has been over based on a couple of things. Number one, they brought in somebody knowing that Michael Penix was there. So this is this staff's handpicked guy in Tua. And number two, Michael Penix hadn't really been healthy. So by those two processes, Hannah, it's got to be Tua Tagovailoa.
Makes sense. All right, let's go to the Meadowlands, where Giants wide receiver room took a hit this week. Adam Schefter reported this morning that wide receiver Calvin Austin did, in fact, suffer a season-ending torn ACL during Tuesday's practice, as feared. He was in a contract year, primed to replace former Giants wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson. So, Lewis, given who is in that room and the different roles that they can play, and I love how you talk about the X and the Y and the slot and on and on and on. What are the, you know what I'm talking about. What do you think the implications are for Odell here? What do you think that room's going to look like?
Yeah, I mean, it opens it up for guys to really kind of try to step up and seize this opportunity. A guy to keep an eye on is obviously Darnell Mooney, who Matt Nagy, the new offensive coordinator, has a familiarity with from their time in Chicago. OBJ, he's a guy who can play inside in the slot now, and a guy who maybe is best suited to play inside. Malik Neighbors is going to have to move in there on occasion when the matchups dictate it, and they think that that's the best matchup for him. It's going to really be by committee that, as far as the person who winds up playing that position, and I think it'll be from game to game. But make no mistake, losing Calvin Austin, you lose a very valuable chess piece that they were counting on.
Yeah, I got Barrios there too. All right, Lewis, to Kansas City, where Patrick Mahomes continues his recovery from a torn ACL and LCL, and he spoke Tuesday about being ready to play in that Week 1 Monday night game against the Broncos.
This has always been the plan, is get you ready for training camp, get all the reps in training camp, prepare your body that way so that when you get to Week 1, you're ready to play the game and you've had the right amount of time off. And so from the day that I got the surgery as quick as I did to hopefully the first game of the year, the plan will go accordingly, and I'll be able to go out there and be myself.
So, Boog, Andy Reid said Mahomes is not going to play in that preseason finale. Obviously, it sounds like he at least feels like he is on track to play Week 1. What's the recipe for Kansas City to have success early as he works his way back to full strength?
Well, Hannah, oftentimes I've learned I pay attention to action and not words. And if you look at what Kansas City's done, they went out, they got Kenneth Walker. So what does that tell me? When you're going to invest $13-14 million in a running back, then you're going to use that running back. I think they're going to run the football. They got Eric Bieniemy. So you add Eric Bieniemy, the former offensive coordinator that knows the DNA of what this Kansas City Chiefs team is about. You bring in Kenneth Walker, you get the offensive line back healthy. I think they're going to run the football and try to take a little bit off of Patrick Mahomes' plate. That way, by the time we get to Thanksgiving and Christmas, then the Patrick Mahomes that we're used to, being able to extend plays, being able to throw underarm and sideways and behind, and all those things that he can do from a Patrick Mahomes standpoint, he's ready to do. But early in the season, I think they're going to run the football and be physical and, dare I say, shorten the game based on a really young defense and a rushing game, Lou.
Yeah, look, a running game really does slow down the pass rush for defenses and allows your quarterback to really operate from the pocket and not be put under stress and under duress. Well, doesn't that sound exactly like what Andy Reid would like for Patrick Mahomes, given that he's coming off the ACL? Of course. So it makes sense that they want to try and establish that. Let the offensive linemen get up on their toes, get up on their front hand, and come off the football. And then from there, have Patrick work from under center, execute some play action pass, really kind of define his reads for him, and be able to beat you with his mind as much as he's able to beat you with his fantastic arm talent. And that's not to say that Patrick hasn't done that his entire career, but every quarterback has to evolve. Patrick's been forced to now because of the knee injury, and I think he's going to wind up having a heck of a season that's going to just get better and better as the season goes on and he gets more healthy.
Yeah, I mean, he's the guy who's been their leading rusher since he took over at quarterback. All right, still to come, the Packers.
I agree with the idea that the Bills should not panic if they struggle during the first few weeks. Their opening schedule is brutal, but Josh Allen and Buffalo have consistently shown that they can win games during the regular season. The real test is whether they can stay healthy and finally deliver when the playoffs arrive. The Christian Gonzalez situation seems like a deal that should eventually get done. He is young, talented, and already viewed as an elite cornerback, while the market has established massive contracts for players at his position. If the Patriots truly see him as a cornerstone of their defense, paying him accordingly makes sense. The Giants losing Calvin Austin is a frustrating setback because he was expected to become an important part of their receiving group. Malik Neighbors will likely receive even more attention, while players such as Darnell Mooney and others will have to compensate for Austin's absence. Losing a versatile player before the season even begins can create problems that are difficult to replace. Patrick Mahomes' recovery may be the most important storyline for Kansas City. I like the idea of relying more heavily on the running game early in the season, instead of asking Mahomes to immediately carry the offense. Kenneth Walker, a healthier offensive line, and Eric Bieniemy could help Kansas City protect Mahomes while allowing him to gradually return to his best form. I also think this approach could make the Chiefs more dangerous later in the season. If Mahomes does not have to take unnecessary punishment early, he could become healthier and more explosive by November and December. The combination of a strong running game and play action could give him easier reads while reducing pressure on his recovering knee.